Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight here in Arizona at Chase Field, home to the Diamondbacks. It's game number 2. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Erica Weston is here. That's Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. Very good pitching matchup tonight. We'll start with Jack Flaherty. He's been very good on the road.
Definitely been good on the road. And if you like pitching, like you said, this is one you're going to want to watch. Jack's been outstanding on the road this year. And we've got to have a good start from him today because he is going to be facing Zach Greinke.
5 starts, ERA of 2.20. Very good on the road. Cardinals, though, have lost 4 of his 5 road starts. Meanwhile, on the other side, he's won a Cy Young. He's been a dominant pitcher, and that's Zach Greinke.
Yeah, good velocity, short arm. You see pitches like that all day long. He likes to bounce the slider, throw stuff out of the zone, keep the hitters off balance. So it'll be an interesting start for him today and try to get the hitters to have a game plan and stick with it.
Jose Martinez in right field tonight. Some changes in the Cardinals lineup as they look for a series win. Baseball coming up. Budweiser. Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. We're in the Valley of the Sun. The Cardinals, that first inning, got it all going in game #1. It's game 2 tonight. The Diamondbacks and Cardinals coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Field. Dan McLaughlin, Jim Edmonds, Erica Weston on Fox Sports Midwest. 107 degrees outside. It'll be Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez, the Cardinal lineup. Followed by Ozuna, Molina, and Jerko. Munoz, Wong, and Flaherty. Jose Martinez, by the way, in right field. Zach Greinke, he's 3-0 in his last 3 starts. The ERA barely above 1. He's allowed just 3 earned over his last 19 1/3 innings. And this guy, Jimmy, can be tough.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that has a good short release. He pauses a little bit at the end, but he's still got that velocity. So it's tough to pick up the spin out of his hand because of that short release. So try to get him up in the zone and try to keep him over the plate and really try to attack the fastball if you can get it.
It's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. The shift on the right side of the infield for Carpenter. First pitch. Taken for a strike, and we're underway. Carpenter, pretty good numbers against Zach Greinke. 9 for 26 and a pair of home runs, as he has completely turned his season around. The 0-1 pitch. First 35 games through May 15th, Carpenter hit 140 with 3 home runs. His last 43 games, 333 and 12 home runs. And the numbers against the right-hander yet again. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Little flare out to right center and a base hit. Carpenter started last night's game with a base hit into the corner in right. Turned out to be a double and came around to score.
Those are the ones you need right there if you want to get hot. Little jam shots. They say they even out, but I don't believe it. All the hard hit balls you get caught during the season, jam shots. I don't believe they even out.
Here's Tommy Pham. Cardinals had 4 first inning runs in game 1. Carpenter now has been on base against Arizona in 15 straight games. He's at first base. You get the feeling that Pham is starting to see the ball a little bit better. He's been taking the ball to right. 5 walks in his last 4 games. Overall, 5th in runs scored in the National League.
He starts to stay inside the ball. I think that's a good thing. But when he starts to see the ball really well is when he starts to swing the bat a little bit harder. That's when you start to see the hard contact. I think he's been trying to keep his head above water and doing a good job by staying inside the ball and taking some of those jam shot hits too.
And it's 2-1.
You see right there what Greinke does so well is keeps the ball down. Pay attention to that little short release that he's got. He stays on top of the ball and everything stays below the knees.
You'll notice he is not a hard thrower. 9th slowest velocity with his fastball, which is a bit surprising. Used to be a guy that would be in the low to mid 90s. That missed in. Averages about 89.3 miles per hour. And he's countered that with a lot of changeups and doesn't walk many. The 3rd lowest walk rate in baseball.
And that's where he gets by with that tight slider. Tries to pitch in a little bit. That tight slider is tough to pick up, and that'll get the swings and misses that he needs in big situations.
And a strike on the outside corner. 3-2, and Pham can't believe it. Home plate umpire tonight is the crew chief, and that's Bill Welke. Welke behind the plate. Randazzo at first. Lance Barrett at second. Andy Fletcher is at third. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Pham. Struck him out.
You know, everyone always talks about how frustrating it is with being a hitter and why it's only 1 pitch, right? Well, it's a big pitch, 3-1 that was ball 4, because you get a pitch like that, 3-2, you're not looking for a big breaking ball. He took a lot off, but we just get frustrated with people saying, well, it's just 1 strike. You got another one. Well, these pitches are pretty good. Sometimes you need more than 1 strike to hit.
Jose Martinez 10th in the National League in average at .298. And he'll make his first start in right field tonight. He's been working out before the last 2 games in right field with Jose Oquendo and Mike Schilt. Harrison Bader also doing some extra work here at the ballpark. And we spoke to Mike Matheny in his office today, and he basically said we've got to find a way to keep his bat in the lineup. And if that means playing right field, we'll take a chance, see what we got. Here's the 0-1. What we have found is no matter where you play him, the man can flat out hit.
He's going to hit. You're right. You got to keep him in the lineup somehow. I think you can go. You know, the thing about outfield is you could go out there a day here and a day there. When you go out there 10 days, 20 days in a row, then it starts to show. So I don't think it's a bad move throwing him out there in right field a couple days a week.
0-2 the count on Martinez. Short lead at first by Carpenter. In the air out to center. Pollock back. And he'll make the catch. Carpenter will stay put at the bag at first, and Greinke may have gotten away with that curveball.
Yeah, that taking that just a little bit off that breaking ball sure saved him right there.
Around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Peralta, Pollock, and Jay in the outfield. Lamb, Ahmed, Marte, and Goldschmidt on the infield, and Jeff Mathis is behind the plate. Here's Marcell Ozuna. Got a couple of left fielders that hit the ball hard. Peralta, Ozuna 1-2 in balls that exceed 100 miles per hour off their bat. You know, we've talked a lot about Ozuna and the ground balls. Well, there's a reason he's finding holes. He's hitting the ball hard.
He's hitting the ball through the infield before the infielders can react. But you're right. He swings hard and he hits the ball hard. But that's the object. Sometimes you can't direct where the ball's going to go. You just have to hit the ball in the barrel. Good things will happen. Put the ball in play. That extra little bit of velocity off the bat would give you some base hits here and there.
And the 0-1 pitch taken high. Ozuna was a straight switch late in the game last night. Mike Matheny telling us that it was a sore lower back. So he went out of the Cardinal lineup. Tyler O'Neill went to left. Harrison Bader went into right. And the 1-1 pitch. Cardinals saw Greinke back on April 7th. That was in St. Louis. Very cold weekend. 5 runs in 5 innings. And you see the numbers for Ozuna. He's made 17 starts against the Cardinals, and he is 12-5. The only team that he's beaten more, the Detroit Tigers.
It's interesting.
And the 1-2 pitch. Ozuna stays alive. Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Diamondbacks, is calling this the Greinke run. He said, I knew a run was coming from our starter. He went 5-1 in June and riding a 15-inning scoreless streak. And the 1-2. Strikeout of Marcell Ozuna. Jack Flaherty has had a pair of games in which he has struck out 13. Young fireballer for St. Louis coming up. Cardinals and Diamondbacks in game 2. Start. He allowed 4 runs in 4 innings. The 3 starts prior to that, a .98 ERA. He's turning into a very good pitcher. There's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Good fastball, that slider, big slider. Not the curveball too much, but a good one, and some change-ups, but fastball, slider, good stuff. Be interesting to see this nice little matchup right here, a little test for him.
John Jay at the top, then Paul Goldschmidt and Jake Lamb. A.J. Pollock, David Peralta, Ketel Marte, a switch hitter, Nick Ahmed, Jeff Mathis, and the pitcher, and he can swing the bat. He's 9 for 30 and hitting .300. That's Zach Greinke. Torey Lovullo, the second-year manager here in Arizona. His club starts play today with a 1.5 lead in front of the Dodgers, 2.5 in front of San Francisco, and the Rockies are 5 back. There's John Jay. One thing you know about John Jay, he'll give you the quote-unquote professional at bat, but also he's about as sure-handed as anybody defensively. He hasn't had an error since April 15th of 2016. It's a long time.
That is a long time.
And a grounder. And Carpenter will take himself, steps on the bag for the out. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ozuna, Pham, and Martinez in the outfield. Jerko, Munoz, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Jimmy, you won 8 Gold Gloves. What's your advice for Jose Martinez in right field?
It's something I used to tell my friend Eduardo Perez all the time. I said, play deep and cut across, and don't panic.
By the way, Eduardo's standing behind us, and as you said, don't panic. He lipped it. Don't panic.
One of the best teammates of all times, and every time the ball would go up in the air into left field and I'm running over there to help him out, he's yelling at me as loud as he can. Don't panic, I got it.
Don't panic.
Don't panic, I got it. Keep me on my toes.
Here's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Paul Goldschmidt 4 for 4 last night.
I really think, all kidding aside, it's just one of those things. Just stay back and you just do your job that day. Don't try to do anything special. Catch the ball, throw it into the cutoff man.
Well, on the infield, especially at first base, you are involved in so many different plays. Holding runners on, ground balls, taking a throw, you're a cut. Not to say that you're hiding in right field, but it might be, you know, here or there where you see a fly ball.
It's a little less taxing for sure. I mean, you really have to be in the game at first base. And sometimes, you know, talking to a couple of the coaches down there in Okendo, saying sometimes he has trouble really staying focused because there's so much attention being paid on every pitch when you're so close to the mound. So hopefully just being out there, give him a little chance to relax and just, I wouldn't say hide out there, but just go out there and play the position.
And I think it also becomes incumbent on Tommy Pham take charge on balls in right center, but also positioning.
I think, yeah, your center fielder, you got to take care of him. You really got to get him in the right spot, tell him where you are, make sure you know where he is, and then do everything you can to get to the ball in the middle.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Goldschmidt. Held on to by Molina and a strikeout. Chased a ball, and Flaherty has his first strikeout of the night. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
That slider right there, it's going to be a tough pitch for right-handers tonight. Both of these guys got good off-speed stuff. And like I said, with the velocity and the pitching of on the inside, be able to make those pitches. And you see right there for the keys to the game, from my key to the game, basically to see Jack Flaherty go out there and out-pitch Zach Greinke, because I think that he's very capable of doing that. There's a lot of hype behind Greinke, but Jack Flaherty's got good stuff.
And a strike dropped into Jake Lamb. It should be pointed out with Jose Martinez, the outfield is not foreign to him. I mean, he has played more than 1,000 minor league games in the outfield, including more than 750 in right field. Had a handful of games in right and left in the big leagues. So it's not like it's foreign territory, but obviously it's a change this year.
Well, I'm going to say he's going to be fine. I'm hoping he's going to be fine. I think he'll do just fine out there if he stays awake.
Here's a 1-2 pitch and a pitch in the dirt. Now, you talk about a young pitcher, and a key to having a good night is a good first inning. Set the tone. And Flaherty in 11 first innings this year, a .82 ERA. I think that's really important.
Well, especially for a young pitcher, just to get out of the first inning being comfortable. I think sometimes you get out there and you put too much pressure on yourself. You try to make some really good pitches early. And our thing we've been talking about a lot this year is the pitch count. Pitch count gets up early, you start thinking about that stuff, and then you got to go back out there and face 4, 5, and 6. Or if you get too far into through the lineup in the first inning, you start thinking about how you're going to attack them the second time around early in the game, when all you should be doing is really concentrating on getting the first couple guys out.
And that's fouled back and out of play.
That's where you really have to rely on the catcher. I mean, Yadi's got to really do his job. Make him just stay focused on pitch by pitch, hitter by hitter, not really worry about what's going on down the road.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake Lamb. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 11. Quietly playing out here in the desert. You wouldn't know it, but he's put up big numbers at third base among all third basemen. Third in home runs, second in RBI. And a fly ball into shallow center and a base hit that drops in.
Center fielder, number 11,
A little tight slider off the end of the bat right there. It's another little jam shot off the end of the bat, base hit.
Here's A.J. Pollock, first game back last night since May 14th. He had a fractured thumb. Prior to getting hurt, his slugging percentage of .620 was the best in the National League. A short lead at first by Lamb. He has one stolen base this year. That pitch was in and up, but Jack sets up a slider with a tremendous fastball on the inner half. Opponents hitting only 125 on inside pitches, in particular fastballs, and that's best in baseball.
And that's key to pitching. It really is. You've got to establish fastball in. You want them to stay off the outer half of the plate.
There it is to further the point. The GMC leaderboard: Flaherty, Cole, Sabathia, Verlander. I mean, you're talking about guys that are some of the best in baseball, and Jack Flaherty's a part of it.
There's a reason why they're doing that right there.
A lot of room on the right side of the infield, and a 1-0 pitch. Again, inside 2-0. The 2-0. Well, that slider, isn't that what separates not only minor leaguers to major leaguers, but really good pitchers to being great? Behind in the count, a 2-0 slider.
Especially 2-0. I mean, that is not what you're looking for right there as a hitter, and that's a different type of slider too. So that helps also. He's got two different types. You see that one not breaking as much, but he's got more control of. He's got the 2-strike one that's got a little bit more sweep to it. Ends up usually down and out of the zone.
Comes back with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-2. Outfield is straight away. The 2-2 pitch. Just a bit low. The strike zone is going to go Greinke's way. If it goes a guy like Flaherty that has that nasty slider, breaks out of the zone, it could be a long night for hitters.
For sure. You start giving guys like this pitches off the plate, you got no chance.
3 of the first 4 plate appearances have been 3-ball counts for Jack Flaherty. Well, if you throw the slider 2-0, now 3-2, do you go back with it?
Well, that's why he laid off at that time. If you throw it 2-0, you think it can come at any time as a hitter.
That's a strike according to our zone, but not going Flaherty's way as he glares back into the home plate umpire.
left fielder, number 6.
That won't fly in the Cardinals dugout if they see some of the pitches that Greinke's getting and Jack Flaherty not getting that pitch.
Yeah, the good old days, you could go back there and guess, well, it could go either way. But when that box is on TV, it's pretty much telling you the truth.
Here's David Peralta, who has been red hot the last month at .325 average with 8 homers. Runners at first and second. I remember talking to Tony La Russa about Peralta, and he was in camp as a pitcher at that time for the Cardinals. And I said, "Boy, did you ever see David Peralta? Did you know anything about him?" He said, "I couldn't even tell you who he was. If he walked up to me, I don't know who he is." But he found out when he got here, he's a pretty good player. It's an interesting story. Was signed, non-drafted by the Cardinals as a pitcher. Then reinvents himself after 2 shoulder surgeries as a position player. Worked at McDonald's at one point just to make ends meet. And signed as a free agent with the Diamondbacks in 2013. Yadier Molina with a mound visit. Flaherty was not happy after that 3-2 pitch to Pollock that was called a ball. You don't see Molina hold the ball like that all that much. And that's his way of saying that looks to be a strike to me.
Yeah, there's going to be some frustrations if it keeps going this direction.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Fought off. Little flare out to left, and that ball will drop. Run scores, and that makes it 1-0 Arizona. Two bloop hits and a walk in the inning for the Diamondbacks.
Second baseman, number 4, Jackson Marte.
I don't even know how he puts that ball in play. See him almost look over to the right, his right shoulder as if he fouled it back. Bloops in there for another base hit.
Only his second earned run in a first inning this year for Jack Flaherty. Got the first 2, then the base hit to shallow center, a walk, and then a single to shallow left. And here in the first inning, Flaherty already now at 26 pitches. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Marte. And a ground ball taken by Colton Wong, and he makes the play. Flaherty glaring at the home plate umpire as he walks off the field.
98.7 FM, Arizona.
Knight drove in 3. First inning, little bloop that scores a pair. And then it's home run number 12. He and Jerko in back-to-back midway through. He's got 12 home runs, and 11 of those have been on the road. Hit 18 last year. 11 of the 18 were on the road. Old Dominion bringing his best. Yadier Molina ranks among catchers. The Cardinals were without Yadi for 26 games. They combined to hit 193. Now he's 26 games back. The average right around 280 with 6 home runs.
He's as solid as it gets behind the plate. He's made himself a really good hitter. Start to make a little bit of a play for the All-Star game. What do you think?
I think he's got to be in. And the fans want to see him as well. And I think not just in St. Louis, but nationwide. Historic player, Hall of Fame player. The game is about the fans. Yadier Molina should be there. One ball and 2 strikes. Jerko on deck, and then Munoz. I mean, right there, I appreciate he may strike out in this at bat. He may hit a home run. But that's a 1-2 swing just to protect.
It's a nasty sinker down and away. He's just trying to stay in the at bat.
This day and age of home runs and strikeouts, there's a guy that takes a different approach with 2 strikes. And Yadi serves it into right field for a base hit. Foul a pitch off. You stay alive. Guides it into right and picks up the hit.
Nice piece of hitting right there. Pretty much the same pitch, just a little bit more elevated. He just stays with it. Confidence to be able to stay inside the ball.
He has such a great ability to go the other way, and the 2-strike approach takes him a lot of times to right field.
It's just waiting for the ball to get there a little bit further so you're not getting fooled. More time to see the ball. Easier fouling pitches off that you can't get to.
Here's Jed Jerko, 2 for 4 last night. Picked up an RBI on his solo home run and also with a single. And Jerko hits it fair inside the third base line down into the corner. Peralta has to dig it out. Molina stops at third base. Runners at second and third, and nobody out.
Sinker inside. There you go. 2 sinkers back-to-back pitches. 1 down and away. Yadi serves it into right. Another one inside. You got to turn on it. See how much harder it is though to turn on it. You got to make your move toward the ball a lot quicker.
Runners at second and third, and Jairo Munoz. 29 games coming into play tonight as a starter. A .333 average. He's driven in 16. He's done a nice job.
He's done a really nice job.
I asked Mike Matheny when Paul DeYoung would be back, and did not give a specific date in San Francisco, but he said at some point this weekend it looks like we'll have him back. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Base hit into left field, and the game is tied. 3 consecutive hits here in the top of the second. Munoz the RBI single, and it's 1-1.
So much movement Zach Greinke gets on that pitch right there. Munoz just stays with it. I like that they're being aggressive in the zone.
It's 3 hits on 4 pitches. Here's Colton Wong. Runners at the corners for the Cardinals. Wong with 37 hits, 10 of those infield hits. So you think about his speed and the pressure that he can put on this particular spot. Wong out to center. Pollock with the catch. Almost got over his head on a ball that was stung by Wong, and it's a 2-1 Cardinals lead. RBI number 17.
Ball just took off at the end right there. You see a little tail. That's a nice job by Wong. That's what I like to see. You get a guy in scoring position, especially third, less than 2 outs. Just go after the first pitch you can get in the air and try to drive something far enough to drive him in.
Here's Jack Flaherty. He was 3 for 19. That's a 158 average. 3 sacrifices on the year. Squares to bunt, looks at a ball. Here's a 1-0. Hit and run is on. Flaherty to right field. This will be a double play. Jay with the catch, the throw to first, and a double play. The Cardinals, though, with 3 consecutive hits and a lead. 2-1. Has more on that. Erica.
Thank you, Dan. It is career number 11 start for Jose Martinez in right field. Before the game today, Mike Matheny said he's probably more comfortable in the outfield as he is with any other position, adding that versatility is good for our club, but they need to keep his bat engaged and in the lineup. Matheny noted he'll still get work at first base, and with Tyler O'Neill and Harrison Bader both sitting tonight, he said it's a good problem to have as far as all 3 of their bats are concerned, but he does want Jose as part of the lineup. Dan.
Yeah, you know, he was talking about it with us before the game in his office. You've got potentially Martinez, you've got Fowler, you've got O'Neill, you've got Bader. So I said, well, Mike, what are you going to do? And he said, what would you do? And I said, good luck. You're going to have a lot of options.
Good options, but it's tough, even though everyone can hit. Can't play them all at the same time, and you can't keep them all happy.
I think you're getting to the point in the season where you say you play the hot hand. Guy that is producing. There's a fastball and a strike. Underway here in the home half of the second. Nick Ahmed. He's got personal highs in home runs, 10 already this year. 2 shy of the highest total he's had for doubles. Hitting for way more power this season. Good sinking action, nothing in 2. Flaherty struck out a man, walked a man, and gave up a run back in the bottom of the first. And the 0-2 pitch, the slider, and a strikeout. Number 2 for Flaherty. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Here's Jeff Mathis hitting 176. No homers, and he's driven in 8. I'm not saying he's Chris Carpenter, but he's got a little bit of that fire like Chris Carpenter watching Jack Flaherty.
You gotta love it.
Got a little edge to him.
I don't think there's any other way to pitch.
Here's the 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2.
Different slider right there, a little tighter, a little maybe cutter going across the zone.
And now time is called. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. Flaherty came in having faced 251 batters, 73 strikeouts. Strikeout rate of nearly 11 per 9. And that's why. I mean, he has got some nasty stuff. And there's his second strikeout in the inning.
Everything comes out of that same arm slot. You see like that different types of sliders. And this is the smaller one again, a little tighter. It's really got no chance to determine which one's coming at you. He said he does such a good job on the inner half of the plate. He challenges hitters, so they got to be ready and be aggressive, and then you drop that in. Tough to lay off and tough to hit.
Mentioned that Greinke can really swing the bat, batting .300 this year. 3 doubles, 9 hits total. Went 2 for 3 in his last game. Here's a 1-0 pitch.
That's what you get when you can hit, huh? A little 1-0 slider.
And a little smile there from Zach Greinke.
Throw your back out.
And that's pulled foul. Reaching for it. Ground ball that's hit to third softly, and Jerko makes the play. Diamondbacks go in order 1, 2, 3. Coming up for the Cardinals, Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez. Quarterfinals kickoff on FS1 Friday. France and Uruguay and Brazil and Belgium. World Cup quarterfinals starting at 8 a.m. Central on FS1. Stream it live on the Fox Sports app. The Zach attack. May 22nd of 2004, he made his major league debut. And in 2009, he put it all together and won the Cy Young. So 295 starts since 2009, ERA of 3.10. Upset he didn't get a strike there on Carpenter. And a soft liner into shallow right center first time up. One ball and one strike. The spray chart, and you're not going to see many balls usually go to the left side.
I'm all in favor of just moving the third baseman all the way over there.
And it's pulled foul.
He's got a lot of, should have some percentages over there foul too. It's a lot of balls down that right field line foul.
Carpenter's last hit gave him 926 for his career. And he's now one ahead of Mike Matheny at 925. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a high fly ball driven out to deep right. Jay back at the wall and makes the catch.
This ball goes a long way. It's spinning. He hits it right on the barrel. John Jay makes a nice play out there. It's a long way to run in right field.
Here's Tommy Pham. Struck out his first time up. The 3-1 pitch in the first at bat was a ball, and it seemed to be a good 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches outside. Tommy didn't like it, then was called out on an inside strike. And the 1-0 pitch is popped up into shallow right, coming on John Jay, calling for it and has it. Two outs. Jose Martinez fly to center first time up. The Cubs beat Detroit today 5-3. Kyle Schwarber with home run number 17. And the Brewers beat Minnesota 2-0. Eric Thames a 2-run homer, his 12th. So as we speak, Cubs a game back, and the Cardinals are 6 out. Wrap up the series tomorrow night on the 4th of July and then head to San Francisco. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Greinke signed his massive contract to come here to Arizona, raised a lot of eyebrows around the game of baseball. Left the Dodgers, who at one point had, in the primes of their career, Kershaw and Greinke back to back, and yet didn't win the World Series. And with those two there, did not get to a World Series.
That's amazing. You're talking about two of the game's top pitchers. Short series like that. The thing with those guys is, seeing Kershaw struggled in big games, and then I think the only knock that I would ever say with Greinke was, especially young in his career, he didn't throw a lot of strikes early on, and if you really paid attention, made him pitch, you could get him out of the game with a lot of pitches, and he made the adjustment later in his career.
And a 1-2-3, top of the third. Coming up, top of the lineup, John Jay when we come back. Bobblehead celebrating Adam Wainwright's Silver Slugger Award courtesy of SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. 200 of the bobbleheads will be painted completely silver to highlight Waino's achievement. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. There's John Jay followed by Paul Goldschmidt and Jake Lamb. Jimmy, you may remember we had a rain delay. Bob Costas was in the booth about a week ago or so. And our great sponsor, Helitech, does the Helitech rain delays. So we were talking about Helitech. That's the last thing I thought I'd be talking about with Bob Costas is waterproofing, but we were. And so as we talked about it, I said, well, as much pub as we're giving Helitech, they should make a donation to Cardinal Glennon, which Bob has raised millions for. And I'm happy to report today they sent a check over to Cardinal Glennon in my name and Helitech's name.
Nice.
To Cardinal Glennon. So thank you to Helitech.
Look at you doing good, and so are they.
Very nice. Real good people and longtime sponsors of Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. 2-1 the count on John Jay. He grounded to first. 0 for 1 tonight. Three and two. Typical John Jay at bat. You always look up. It's 2-2, 3-2.
Grinding it all the way to the end.
Yep. Some fans maybe didn't see the game last night. The stars and stripes being worn in the logos of the uniforms. The umpires with red caps. Let's raise awareness and money for veterans and the men and women of our military. As Jay grounds back to Flaherty for the out. Paul Goldschmidt struck out his first time up, 4 for 4 last night. The Kubota Power Stats. Home run leaders Nolan Arenado, Bryce Harper at 21, Jesus Aguilar at 19, and then Goldschmidt, Max Muncy of the Dodgers. 29 games he played in June. 11 home runs at .386 average and the National League Player of the Month. And the Cardinals went right after him in the series in St. Louis. He was really lost at the plate. You could see it. Got him to chase a lot on breaking pitches outside the zone. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Back-to-back breaking balls, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of Texas State University, that hotbed. No. 1-2 the count.
Never know. Might have been a late bloomer. Got there and turned it up a notch.
Here's a 1-2 to Goldschmidt, and he struck out for the second time. Let's go pitch by pitch on Goldschmidt.
That was a nice job of getting ahead outside. The Goldie right here is he doesn't really know, right? He doesn't. There's a little off-speed pitch inside, and then at the end it blows him away. But 4 or 5 off-speed pitches, balls breaking both ways, and then the good hard fastball at the end.
And there's a ground ball tapped up the first base line. Carpenter steps on the bag in an easy out. An 11-pitch inning here at the bottom of the 3rd. Is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Marcelo Ozuna leads it off for the Cardinals in a 2-1 ball game here in the top of the 4th. Struck out looking on a pitch that he did not think was a strike first time up. And he sends that one out to deep left field. Near the wall, and it's caught. Just got underneath it.
He just got underneath that ball. The ball stayed there for him to hit too. Think about this ballpark too. You never know. When you get it up in the air, you think you might have a chance. He just missed it. Maybe a humidor ball. You never know.
It certainly has had an adverse effect against the offense. The numbers bear it out of the Diamondbacks. We talked about it. First year with the humidor in play this season. And the guy that really pushed for it is on the mound. That's Zach Greinke.
I just don't understand it. If you don't like the situation that you have here, then don't build the ballpark here, right? I mean, it is what it is. You get what you get.
2 balls and no strikes on Molina. Single to right with 2 strikes back in the 2nd inning. And that's hit sharply to 3rd. Jake Lamb with it. And he makes the play. July 15th, that's a Sunday. Promotional giveaways for the whole family. That day, 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a baseball stitch print Cardinals tote bag. And for the kids, a Fredbird hooded towel presented by the Pasta House Company. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Megan Eberhardt and her crew do a wonderful job, as we saw on Sunday with the bucket hats. And we needed them. It was hot in St. Louis. A pitch taken low by Jed Jerko. Doubled inside the 3rd base line all the way into the corner back in the 2nd inning, and scored on the line out by Colton Wong. The 1-0 pitch. Well, as many of you know, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Bob Gibson's historic 1968 season, and I had a chance to see the Cardinal yearbook. It's dedicated to Bob, and some amazing, and I mean amazing, stories put together from the likes of Hank Aaron. Tim McCarver obviously had a front row seat. Some of the great players of that era have contributed to the Cardinals yearbook, which will be on sale shortly, but it is worth checking it out. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Good breaking ball right here. He pulled a little string on it, a little bit softer. When that ball gets up in your eyes, it's hard to lay off.
If you want that yearbook, cardinals.com/yearbook. 2-2. Anytime I can read something from Hank Aaron about Bob Gibson, that's pretty cool.
Be all over that for sure.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. A rare walk issued by Zach Greinke. And with the 2-out walk, it gives us a moment to tell you about our Kia Drive to Success, Jairo Munoz. Mentioned it earlier, doing a very good job as a starter this season. Batting above 300. And with his RBI back in the 2nd, he's now up to 17 as a starter. And a total of 18 on the year. Two to 1 our score. And a strike. I mentioned how this is a cavernous ballpark, and you can hear the fans below us, and you can hear the pitcher grunt with every pitch, and that's what Greinke does.
They built this ballpark because they knew the ball was going to carry a little bit, and then you get the humidor involved, and now the ballpark's almost too big.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And you get the sports science show out there with their little things they do, and see how much different the ball travels with the humidor versus the dry air and a regular ball. I like that show. Show you all the different things.
Two and 1. And a grounder that's rolling softly foul.
I feel like Jairo's doing a better job every game. He's doing better at bats. He's playing better defense. You said how being a starter has made him more consistent but it's just day to day. It's just better at bats. Just looks more confident every time he goes out there.
And the 2-2 pitch. Got him. Tied him up a bit. And the third strikeout for Greinke. Pollock, Peralta, Marte coming up. It's 2-1.
Lead the Diamondbacks by 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Earlier today, Mike Matheny said it is likely that we will see Paul DeJong back in the lineup with the big club as soon as this weekend, though that doesn't necessarily mean he will be in the lineup right away. In 3 games with Memphis, DeJong picked up 2 hits with a double, an RBI, and a run scored, and he is in the lineup again tonight with the Redbirds against Iowa. Dan.
All right, thank you. Looking forward to seeing that bat back in the lineup. 2-1 our score. Pollock at the plate. Walked his first time up. And sends a fly ball into right. Jose Martinez under it and makes the catch.
There you go, Danny. Just got to catch the ball.
No big deal.
Ball's up there a couple hundred feet in the air. Just wait for it to come down.
Well, the thing, too, about the National League, especially if you have a lead, you're talking about double switching late with, in this case tonight, guys that are really good defenders. One we know for sure, watching him play a lot, Bader, and Tyler O'Neill can play all 3 outfield spots. So it's something to keep in mind as well. Get Martinez, let's say 3 at bats if you have a lead, then he probably exits the game.
For those 2 young men, that's all that they could ask for. And that's how I broke into the league. So anytime you get a young player like that a chance to play and to get a chance to shine. Obviously Martinez's bat is keeping him in the lineup, but those guys will definitely thrive being thrown into a game night in and night out to learn and just to keep sharp and keep playing.
One and 2 the count on Peralta. Flaherty's allowed 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 1. A fastball up, doesn't chase. I know we've talked a lot about Peralta because of his connection to the Cardinals, but it is amazing to see a guy at this level go from pitching and not only hit, but hit at an elite level. And he's done that. He strikes out here, and that's number 5 tonight for Flaherty. Jack looks pretty good tonight.
Yeah, good hard fastball right there up in the zone. I thought early on he was missing a lot of his location, falling off the mound a little bit. I always wonder when young pitchers come into the league, see that good hard fastball. Is there a place that they are uncomfortable pitching? You know, they haven't been around the league enough to play in every ballpark yet. You see sometimes they struggle with location early on in a game at a park they've never pitched at before.
Here's Marte. And pitchers will tell you too, it's not only the ballpark, but specifically the mound and the field, the dirt.
Backdrop. The backdrop for sure. Sometimes the backdrop is far away and you get the vision that you're out there by yourself, and it makes the mound and the plate look farther apart.
Did that strip of dirt from the mound to the to home plate bother you at all?
It's different when you go out there, but you quickly have to adjust. But what's nice here is they got a really nice hitting background, like in Milwaukee. Huge backdrop.
It's a huge pop-up, and Wong makes the play. All right, Jimmy, thank you. 2-1 our score here, top of 5, and Colton Wong, followed by Flaherty and Carpenter. Was talking, Jimmy, earlier about Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw and not getting to the World Series with that great combination together with the Dodgers. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And this is their combined records in postseason play. And it's not together, but just all together what they've done. They've had 35 starts combined and a record of 10-11. So under 500, ERA over 4. You get in, anything can happen. As you found out in 06, Cardinals found out again in 2011.
The thing about the playoffs is when you go to the playoffs and you got a guy that you like this that you're going to face, you go to the tape a little bit more and you study a little bit more and you really try to work the count and work everything you got that one game.
One grounds out to short. Baseball's 2 biggest events of the summer back to back. Action begins. T-Mobile Home Run Derby July 16th at 7. And then the All-Star Game presented by MasterCard at 6:30 on the 17th. You competed in a home run derby.
Yep.
You wouldn't do it again, would you?
I liked it, but no, that was a lot of work for the body. Hurt my shoulder a little bit and wasn't the same for the rest of the year.
Was it because of the shoulder or because you're trying to hit home runs and you got out of whack mechanically?
Shoulder. I had a bad shoulder anyways, and then I was over swinging in the home run derby. I don't know why I was trying to hit the ball off the moon, but I was just swinging so hard.
Which ballpark were you at?
At the White Sox ballpark. The wind was blowing in from right, so it wasn't really in my favor. But I had a lot of fun. Just beat me up a little bit.
You know, there's a lot of players now saying they do not want to compete in the home run derby because of potential injury, and they feel it gets them out of whack. Aaron Judge is a good example of that a year ago.
Well, I think it's a smart decision. Stay out of that. I think a lot of guys, you know, when you're young, you want to be involved in everything. You want to do things. You want to be seen. You want to be at the All-Star game. Nowadays, that's going on every night. TV is everywhere. Social media is everywhere. And now guys are turning things down when it's a dangerous situation. And it is. It's a dangerous situation. When every time you go out there, you watch, when we're sitting here watching games, you watch a guy like Carlos Martinez go to the plate and swing so hard, you worry about him, right? Well, what's the difference if it's a regular everyday player? So now your everyday player's going up there and trying to do a little bit more than he normally does, risking injury.
3-2 the count.
But I think those guys are making smart decisions.
Baseball may not like it, but in terms of the individual and the teams that they play for, they probably silently nod and say, okay. 3-2 pitch. Put in play by Flaherty. Mathis pounces on it. That's on number 2. A reminder this evening from Arizona, baseball is brought to you by Missouri Baptist Medical Center. Doctors call it world-class medicine. You'll call it MOBAP. And by Toyota, let's go places. Carpenter just meandering into the batter's box by design, slowly getting in there after Flaherty made the second out. As a base hit into shallow right center and sent one to the track in right. 1 for 2. Zach Greinke put it all together in Kansas City. He was a top draft choice. One point he was ready to call it quits, walk away from the game.
I think he did take a break, didn't he?
He did. And Carpenter grounds into first, backhanded by Goldschmidt to Zach Greinke. So he's in a groove, and so is Flaherty. We've got a pitcher's duel, and it's 2-1. for the Cardinals. Patrick Corbin, he's 6-3 for the Diamondbacks. How tough was the loss last time for Michaelis? 4 of the 5 hits he allowed did not leave the infield, and he took a loss. He was really good Friday night. Had a shutout going into the 7th inning. Cardinals could not muster anything up offensively in a loss against the Braves. It's been good since day one.
Outstanding. Great idea of what he's trying to do out there. Goes out there and executes.
I mean, that is a credit to the Cardinals. John Mozeliak, Michael Gersh, scouts in Asia, the analytics department putting it all together and saying, we think this guy's got a package, has reinvented himself, that will play in Major League Baseball. I mean, if you would have said to a fan, hey, by the way, the Cardinals have brought in Miles Michaelis in December and January, what? Who? Wait a minute, is that guy that used to pitch in the big leagues? Yeah, he was pitching overseas.
Well, that's what's nice about having so much depth also. They can take a chance on somebody like that, knowing that if it doesn't work out, that they got other fallback plans.
Now, clearly it helps that the Cardinals train in Jupiter. He's from that area, and they won out probably because of location, but they still saw enough to offer a 2-year deal that was close to $15-16 million. Here's an 0-2 pitch now to Nick Ahmed. It's tapped foul. But that's where you have everybody coming together. Scouts, analytics, the eye test, studying the video that they saw overseas. It's one of the steals of the offseason.
It's a pretty good signing right now, for sure.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. And he doesn't get the call. Could have gone his way. Chevy Foxtrax.
Pretty good pitch right here. Pitcher's pitch. Like you said, he could have gone either way.
He set down 10 in a row, trying to make it 11. And a base hit. That'll roll all the way to the wall. Ahmed will stop at second. And it's a leadoff double.
Was that little smaller slider and didn't get down. Frustrated with himself right there. It's a good job of hitting right there by Ahmed.
The Flaherty slider tonight. He's thrown it 24 times in 67 pitches, 8 swings and misses, 3 strikeouts with that pitch. Here's Mathis. I find this really interesting, where you have an 8th place hitter in the National League. And, you know, if you're Mathis, a lot of times that 8th place hitter, it's not about just moving the runner over. It's about, you got to get him in. You got the pitcher on deck. But with Greinke, you move him over, you got a good shot.
Yeah, he's going to put the ball in play a lot more than the average pitcher.
Flaherty's gone right at him. 0-2. Molina, the second mound visit for the Cardinals tonight. You find it interesting on an 0-2 that he goes out for a mound visit in this spot?
No, I think what I watched right there was Jack Flaherty wasn't waiting for Yadi to finish his signs, and basically Yadi was saying, well, first of all, give me a chance to finish my signs, so you're not giving anything away. There's a guy on second base that's going to be out there for a while with nobody out. Don't rush through it. I believe that that was more of the conversation than actually the pitch that they want to throw.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Inside corner, and he struck him out. 6 tonight for Jack Flaherty. Mathis, he'd probably love to argue, but he can't. He's got to go out there and get those calls for his pitchers. We go pitch by pitch.
Good job right here, just attacking the zone. Up and in, down and in, and another down and in. Good run on the fastball. You're a hitter right there. You're just asking. You can't just make a little bit of a mistake. Just throw something over the middle of the plate. 1 out of 3.
Now Greinke got him to reach. First time up, grounded out to third, and there's a fastball and a strike. First time through the order, 3 strikeouts, all on sliders. Second time through, 3 strikeouts and counting maybe, all with fastballs. Here's the 0-1. A little bit low. And a ground ball that's hit to the right side. Wong ranging to his left makes the play. And the batter is John Jay.
This is what you were talking about right there. Mathis has a chance to move him over. That's a run, and we got a tie game.
2 outs and runners in scoring position, a .281 average, well above the league average. You know, John Jay is the kind of guy that in this spot normally doesn't strike out. He'll put the ball in play. Many times just slap it to left. Can't tell you how many times I said little flare out to left and John Jay with a base hit.
Just another base hit.
That's why I think Ozuna might be playing a little too deep.
Definitely too deep.
Tied him up with that pitch. Strike 1. Jay is grounded out twice, 0 for 2. Oh, and 2.
It's almost like Flaherty made that mistake with that slider and hasn't thrown another one since. He's been going right after everyone's fastball.
Foul back again. And the 0-2 pitch to John Jay.
But Johns really does a really good job of right there. Is now he's in a defensive mode and he's trying to take away his best pitch. So his best pitch is his slider. He's just trying to foul the fastball off until he gets the timing back, but he's trying not to swing at a bad slider.
Here's a 1-2. And the ball gets away. No, it hit Jay, so the runner back to third. It hit John Jay, and the runners will be at the corners for the Diamondbacks. That's another aspect of Jay's game. He's always hit by a ton of pitches.
Slider down in. He didn't even flinch. Just let this ball hit, barely hit him.
Many times you see that left-handed batter get a slider in the back foot. Dangerous spot here now with Goldschmidt. He's 0 for 2. 9th time that John Jay's been hit by a pitch. Goldschmidt has struck out twice. Both times swinging. And a knee buckling breaking pitch there.
Now he's really going all the way through his pitches tonight. He's throwing sliders early, breaking balls early, finishing guys off with fastballs. Second time around, third time around, a lot more fastballs. Just when you think you're going to get a fastball to hit, you see the big breaking ball.
Fastball in there for strike
Doing
two.
a really nice job of mixing up his pitches right now. He's using everything he's got.
That was the 98th time, by the way, that John Jay has been hit by a pitch. 98. Well, he's got Goldschmidt at 0-2. The next by Flaherty. Spoiled. Two outs and runners in scoring position, a .276 average. 3 home runs. He's driven in 13. Inning started with a double by Ahmed. He's at third. And John Jay was hit by a pitch. And the 0-2. Runner goes. No throw by Molina. Stole the base number 4 for Jay.
Right back to that situation we're talking about with Jay. He's looking for his best pitch, right? So he doesn't want to swing at that slider unless he gets one for a strike. But the pitch right here would be the fastball inside. He's got no chance to get to it, trying to protect against everything else.
And the 1-2 pitch now to the slugger, Goldschmidt. Doesn't chase. 2-2. Well, first base is open. Normally you'd never say this, but with a guy like Goldschmidt, boy, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Walking him, I don't know if it'd be the worst thing if you try to get him to chase.
Yeah, I think the pitch though still is the fastball in. You throw it in there, you get it in off the plate, hopefully get a swing and miss. Maybe a called strike if he's still looking out over the plate.
And a fly ball lifted out to right. Going back Martinez. He's at the wall and it's gone. Opposite field home run. 3-run shot for Goldschmidt, and Martinez slow to get up and right.
Exactly what I'm talking about. He's looking, he's sitting slider, he's looking to hit something the other way. He kept throwing it to him and finally gave in a little bit to throw a strike and doing what he does best. It's the ball the other way for a homer.
And the Diamondbacks on top now 4-2. There's Jake Lamb and a strike. Well, the pitch I would assume he's really kicking himself with is the hit by pitch of Jay. Home run number 19 for Goldschmidt. He's up to 48 driven in. All 4 of the Diamondback runs have been scored with 2 outs tonight. Three and 1. Three and 2. Fouled back. The pitches by inning tonight for Flaherty. He's up to 90. Batted last inning, so quite a ways away from his spot in the Cardinal lineup. And a ground ball. Gloved by Munoz, and he makes the play.
Where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Back in Arizona in Chase Field, it's 4-2 with the Diamondbacks on top after the 3-run homer by Paul Goldschmidt. Tommy Pham, Jose Martinez, and Marcell Ozuna for the Cardinals. Here in the top of the 6th, Goldschmidt, home run number 19. Tommy is 0 for 2. He is struck out and also flied out to right. And the first pitch is strike by Zach Greinke. Tommy's saying, now wait a minute.
That's the same pitch. Exact same pitch.
That was on a 3-1 pitch that should have been ball 4 back in the first, and Pham then eventually struck out. Little tapper, Greinke off the mound, throws to first and makes a nice play. He's a Gold Glover, by the way. Fields his position quite well, and that's the first out here at the top of the 6th.
That was a nice job. You watch guys that really play the position. You see how quickly he gets off the mound, and right as he gets to the ball, he slows down, makes sure he grabs the ball, and then throws the ball. Doesn't run over there out of control. He breaks down, picks up the ball, and then throws it.
Jose Martinez with 1 out. 4-2 our score. Also see how he finishes towards the plate. He's usually not in a bad position to field his position.
That's definitely the key. Staying balanced after you release the ball.
Here's a 1-0. Jose has flied to center, grounded out to third. He ran up against the wall, and the home run hit by Goldschmidt was slow to get up. Seems to be just fine. 1-2 hit out of play. Home plate umpire before the last pitch indicating to Martinez, get back in the box. Jose sometimes will walk around, wiggle the bat, jump around, talk to himself, talk to the bat.
Whatever it takes, right?
You got it. Quite animated. And the 1-2 into center field and a base hit. And the tying run will come to the plate. And Marcell Ozuna.
Another good piece of hitting right here. No surprise, right? Breaking ball out over the plate. Doesn't try to do too much. It's impressive to watch him hit, especially with 2 strikes.
I think he and Yadi are 2 of the best with 2 strikes.
Just try not to do anything but hit the ball. Try to keep it simple.
Marcell Ozuna represents the tying run. Struck out back in the first. Flied out to left field in the fourth, and it was a hanging breaking ball, and it was a pitch that you could see that both Greinke said, "Ooh, I got away with it," and Ozuna upset he didn't hit it a mile. One ball, 1 strike. And a ground ball that's fair, hit to the left side, and they'll get the lead man Martinez at second base. So 2 outs, and it brings in Molina. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? StubHub. You can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch. Sell your extras to another fan. StubHub app. Best way to do it. Official partner of the Cardinals. Molina single to right with 2 strikes back in the second. Also grounded out to third, 1 for 2. Big breaking ball drops in for a strike. One and one.
That's the thing when you get a veteran pitcher that can hit his spots. You get into a tough spot, you know you can go right back out there where the umpire's giving you extra. You can see he's just literally living out there right now when he needs a strike.
You see Greinke time and again has gone to the outside portion of the zone with right-handed batters.
Well, he knows if he throws it out there enough, he's going to get the corner or a little bit more. So I'm saying he can go to that spot when he needs a strike and needs to make a big pitch.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Molina guides it down the right field line, but foul. At what point do you think he tries to bust Molina in? He's gone everything away basically the entire night.
Well, that's what we were talking about with Flaherty, right? Trying to get him to get that ball inside on Goldschmidt. But I don't know, when you know that you can go off the plate for a strike, I don't know if you do that. I think you go out there a little bit more, especially when he's got a pitch to give. Maybe a throw over right here.
Molina with that base hit to right. Came around to score on the single by Munoz to left that got the Cardinals on the board. After that, a double by Jerko. Wongden eventually brought him in. Cardinals had a 2-1 lead, then a 3-run homer hit by Paul Goldschmidt. One ball, 2 strikes on Yadier Molina. And Molina pulls it right into the glove of Jake Lamb. Hanging breaking ball, tattooed it, but lines out. Normally it's not about a bullpen card, but after last night it is. But Norris, the 9th pitcher to use the bullpen card this season here at this ballpark. With more on that, we check in with Erica.
Yeah, I talked to Bud Norris before the game today. He said it was comfortable and it worked, but he says the next step for him is possibly maybe get an iPod plug-in for the golf cart. He said they should have a walkout song playing in the golf cart to get the guys pumped up. He said before the game he hadn't had a chance to sign it yet, but there were some signatures with a gold pen inside of the bullpen cart. He said he would go out during the game at some point today to sign it, but he did pick up that 16th save last night, and he said if the bullpen cart had anything to do with it, he'll take it. Dan.
I'm sure he'd like to take it back to St. Louis with him too. I'm all in 100%. I want the bullpen cart mandated by the commissioner. Bring it back to every stadium.
They got 2 of them out there too. I noticed when we were walking out of the stadium last night. Pretty nice little ride. I think you could ride around the golf course in that. What do you think?
Absolutely. There's a roof on it, and there's a chance to maybe put a little advertising on it too.
There you go. Thought you were going with some speakers or something.
Sam Tuivailala getting loose in the Cardinals pen. And a strike to A.J. Pollock, the cleanup hitter for Arizona. He has walked and also flied to right. There's a look at the hard-throwing right-hander Tuivailala. Pitch number 96 for Jack Flaherty. Sent into shallow center. Pham under it and makes the catch. could catch baseball's biggest stars for an unforgettable show from the nation's capital. The MLB All-Star Game, July 17th. Only on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. There's David Peralta at a 2-out RBI single into shallow left. Got the Diamondbacks on the board in the bottom of the first and struck out swinging in the fourth. How many All-Star games for you?
Just 4.
Just 4. 4 more than many of us.
Well, I guess if you look at it like that.
The first one the most meaningful?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the first one was great. I was having a good year, and I think I forget who the manager was that year. I think the one you get voted in by the fans is pretty cool.
Was there one guy that you were saying, I'm looking forward? In interleague play, I guess, changes it up because you see guys, but
Yeah.
and many guys are close because they share the same agent. But was there a player, a coach, a manager that you said, you know what, I'm going to make sure and take 5-10 minutes. I got to go see that guy?
No, I think you're right. I think the way the game is played now, a lot of guys switching teams, guys that you know, that you play with, that introduce you to guys over the course of the years. I played a few years before I made it to the first one, and then I just went in there and tried to enjoy it. I wanted to get in the game and play. It's pretty cool. You know, everyone in the world's watching. Doesn't get any bigger than that, right? The All-Star Game, I think, and then the World Series.
World Series for sure. All-Star Game was something as a kid for me I never missed. And I love seeing the white shoes, the spikes of the All-Stars introduced, and players that you normally didn't see. Now every game is on television. Young fans wouldn't realize it, but not many games were on TV, and you saw an American League All-Star team. You thought, being from St. Louis, now this is pretty cool.
You know what's really funny and really sad to say as far as the players go? When you're watching it on TV in your home, it looks like the biggest show on earth. And when you're in the middle of the game, it's pretty much business as usual.
Business as usual, right? 7 strikeouts for Flaherty. Jerko coming up. Two, 4-2 our score. It'll be Jerko, Munoz, and Wong for the Cardinals. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Jerko has doubled tonight inside the third base line, scored back in the second, walked in the fourth. Ball 1. Cardinals have 3 from the right side on their bench. O'Neill, Pena, and Bader. Greg Garcia from the left side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last night, the first time that Jerko had hit a home run in this ballpark. Jorge De La Rosa, lefty, getting loose for the Diamondbacks in their bullpen. And the 1-2 is a fly ball into shallow right center. A.J. Pollock with the catch. One thing that Mike Matheny has seen here recently is that his bullpen has come together, namely Mike Myers and Greg Holland. And when you think about guys that are going in the right direction, it makes his job obviously a lot easier. You can plug guys into the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th.
Well, definitely is when you have guys that are struggling down there. Now you got to throw sometimes 2 guys in 1 inning, and then it throws the whole bullpen out of whack. It's nice when you can go down there and go to a guy, have him do his job, then go to another guy, have him do his job. You're right, it does make it a lot easier on the manager.
Two strikes on Munoz. We have 1 ball, 1 strike in our graphic. It is 0-2. In the 8th, normally for Arizona, their setup man, he's a good one, Archie Bradley. Brad Boxberger is their closer. Bradley, an ERA just over 2. Boxberger, 19 for 23. His save opportunities.
You see what makes Greinke so successful, or why he does what he does. He throws the same pitch in the same location at different speeds with different breaks to him. He threw the fastball down and in. He threw the sinker, or I'm sorry, the changeup in the same location. Then right there, he tried to throw like a little cut fastball, all down and in, all in the same exact area. Make them look like each other, but have them go in different directions.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Had Munoz way out in front. 4th strikeout for Zach Greinke.
A big breaking ball. Look how slow that was. 63 miles an hour. That's one you just got to put the bat in your back pocket and not get too excited about.
Can really do that, it seems like, against younger hitters that are very aggressive. And there's a base hit by Wong into center. He's hit the ball hard 3 different times. He lined out to pick up an RBI back in the 2nd, grounded out in the 5th, and now a single.
Pitch hitting for Jack Flaherty, number 35.
And the Cardinals will send Greg Garcia to the plate. Found it interesting when my partner, who launched a bunch of home runs, said, man, oh man, Greg Garcia is launching the ball right now in BP. Would you say it? It grabs my attention.
Yeah, he was hitting the ball pretty good up into the right field seats. I mean, the ball does carry here. Obviously, the batting practice balls aren't in a humidor, but still, you still got to hit it. Hit a ball about halfway up the seats in the right field. And I was watching him hit the ball that far. I was thinking, guy a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, a little bit stronger. There's a truck up there, might get some dents in it. I'd be aiming for that thing for sure.
2 outs. Garcia represents the tying run. First pitch is strike. Greg certainly no stranger to going deep in a count. He's never faced Zach Greinke. Hirano, a right-hander, getting loose now in the pen for Arizona. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. You can see Greinke's reaction a few times tonight, frustrated with the strike zone.
Well, you start getting used to getting some of those pitches, and then when you go to him and he makes the pitch he wants to make, thinking he's going to get the strike, he doesn't get it. He has no idea where that box is. He just knows he's been calling it for him.
Garcia lays down a beautiful bunt and a base hit. What a smart play that was. And that's going to be it for Zach Greinke. A bunt is going to knock him out. With Matt Carpenter coming up, and De La Rosa, the lefty, to face Matt Carpenter. Here in the top of the 7th with 2 runners on, and the Cardinals down by 2. Lefties are just 9 for 42 against him. That's a .214 average. Go back to August of 2017. They're batting an even .200. So you get the idea. Pretty tough on the lefties, and a chance here for Carpenter to maybe put the Cardinals on top with 1 swing of the bat. Tying runs are aboard. Greg Garcia, the pinch hit bunt single to extend the inning. Garcia's 2nd bunt hit of the season. The Cardinals 6th overall. A 2-out rally knocks out Greinke. Runners at 1st and 2nd for Carpenter. A move that makes a lot of sense for the Arizona Diamondbacks lefty-lefty matchup. Carpenter is 0 for 12 against De La Rosa, and he looks at a ball. Last 43 games for Carpenter, he's popped 12 home runs. A team high 15 this year. Way outside. Right-hander throwing in the Arizona pen. Hirano. Shift on here for Carpenter. Gets a pitch to his liking. Maybe does some damage.
Right now, if he's going to get a fastball to hit, it's going to be right here. What you got to do is be aggressive and not swing at the slider.
And he didn't. Stayed away. 3-0.
Think about lefties that come out of the bullpen. they don't really want to throw you strikes. They try to pitch around you, try to get you to swing at stuff off the plate. A lot of those guys make their living off of getting you to chase. If you can be a little bit more disciplined, you got a good chance. A lot of walks come out of these specialty lefties out of the bullpen.
Maybe surprise him here with a swing. He took the pitch, 3-1. Carpenter's so good with the strike zone. Goes to 3-2. Really no big deal for him.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't see a slider and then one of the next 2 pitches.
And he draws the walk, and the bases are loaded. And Torey Lovullo will go back to his bullpen. Tommy Pham is due up for St. Louis. Toronto coming on to face Tommy Pham with the bases loaded when we come back. Our home plate umpire, Bill Welke's the crew chief. There was an interpreter out there for Toronto. Watch this. Bill Welke says, get out of here. Right now, you. Yep. You got to go. Let's go. He gone.
I don't really understand that.
I don't either. I'm sure we'll get an explanation after the game, but Toronto is off that mound visit with his interpreter. So our Chevy called to the pen, and this guy's had a lights out year. Already 41 appearances if you include tonight. 12 seasons. The Oryx Buffaloes had 156 saves. Former #1 overall pick in the 2000 draft in Japan. And at one point this year, he had a 25-game scoreless streak. Tommy Pham with the bases loaded. Pham to third, and one pitch, and Lamb steps on the bag. Cardinals strand the bases loaded, and it's time to stretch. 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a cowboy hat featuring the bird on the bat logo, courtesy of Brown and Crouppen. Get your July 13th Cardinal tickets against the Reds at cardinals.com/promotions. 4-2 our score. Cardinals strand the bases loaded. Now Sam Tuivailala, our Chevy, called to the pen after 6 innings from Jack Flaherty and 7 strikeouts. His one big mistake, the 3-run homer hit by Goldschmidt.
I mean, that was his one mistake. He made 2 bad pitches all night. He made for him a hanging slider for a base hit, and then the other hanging slider wasn't much of a hanging slider, just a good at bat by Goldschmidt, but that was it. And now he's trailing 4-2 and out of the game.
Nick Ahmed on one pitch grounds out to Colton Wong.
Other than that, he pitched a pretty good game. Those 3-run homers will definitely hurt.
That's one he'd love to have back. There's no question about it. Only gave up 4 hits in his 6 innings, 4 runs with that 3-run homer. Here's Jeff Mathis with 1 out. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Sam Tuivailala. Fastball, slider, and curve. Archie Bradley throwing in the Arizona bullpen. Daniel Descalso at the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a pitch that looked pretty good.
It's been a tough couple nights for the umpires, I think. Just a lot of pitches. Not normally that way when you see these guys behind the plate.
One and 2. Tomorrow it's a 7:10 start here locally. 9:10 back home in St. Louis. On the air at 8:30. The 4th of July. No better way to spend it than with ball game.
Doesn't really seem like 4th of July, does it, with the big 7 o'clock game? A late night at the ballpark. And a late night getting into San Francisco.
The 2-2. Hit out of play. Memphis Redbirds complete a 5-game sweep of Iowa today. Luke Voigt is red hot. 3 for 5. 5-game sweep. Boy, that is tough at any level to do. Mentioned it a little bit last night, but Stubby Clapp has done a remarkable job with the Memphis Redbirds with all the movement the Cardinals have had. He was the George Kissel Award winner this last offseason, given to minor league coach, personnel. And the 3-2 pitch. Wong gets it on the short hop. Little low to Carpenter, but that's out number 2.
Very nice play by Wong right there. You could tell that he was going to be in the middle of a big time in between hop. Let's see that in the infield very often other than shortstop. Watch this play right here. He realizes he's in trouble. Comes and gets it. Stays back on that ball. It probably eats him up and makes it really tough on him.
So 2 outs and nobody on. Daniel was the pregame guest for Erica. Daniel told Erica it was nice to have some professionalism on our broadcasts. That was a shot at the cap.
I got you.
2 balls and no strikes. And the 3-0 pitch. 3-1. Two-out walk. No, they're going to bring him back. So he dropped the bat, thought it was ball 4, instead 3-2.
I think you win. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. And a swing and a miss, comes back to strike him out. Good work by Tuivalalov. Outstanding this year. As a matter of fact, 16 of the last 17 times he's been on the mound, they've been scoreless. 1 earned in 15 innings. He's got Martinez, Ozuna, and Molina coming up here. He's got 21 holds. That's second in franchise history before the All-Star break. The best is Brad Ziegler, 24 in 2014. And he pitched in the ball game last night, and you think, well, second day might be tough on a pitcher. Maybe he's a little worn out, a little worn down, not as sharp. This is where he's been at his best. 14 games pitching with no rest, a .71 ERA. So this guy's been really good this year.
Yeah, it's amazing. Some guys go out there the second day and do better.
And the breaking ball taken low, 1-2. Martinez singled on a 1-2 pitch to center back in the 6th inning. He's also flied to center, grounded out to third.
I thought it was pretty amazing when Jordan Hicks threw those fastballs in the 105 range. That was his second day of work.
2-2 the count. And he waved at a ball and he strikes out. 96 low and outside, and Martinez a strikeout to start the 8th. There's Hicks on the left. And our What's in the Tank brought to you by Phillips 66. On the road this year, only 1 run allowed for Jordan Hicks. Mike Matheny telling us before the game he thought, well, Hicks the other day was efficient with his 2 innings. We think we can go back to him tonight, so it looks like that's the case. The curveball drops in to Ozuna. Bradley works very quickly. There's something about a guy that works like this, not just in the rhythm of the game, but the confidence he exudes. You buy into that?
I buy into it. It makes me want to bear down at the plate. Have a really good at bat. He's got a good arm and a good breaking ball, though. Makes it tough.
The 2-2 struck him out. Plaza Tire Service Fox Tracks.
Look at the angle on that pitch right there. Tough to see the way these cameras are set up for us in center field, but ball looked like he kind of threw it. It didn't just sink or anything. It just kind of darted in.
It's another one of those guys that's gone from being a starter to a reliever and found a home. Lets it fly with the fastball.
Much more effective with max effort, the extra velocity.
0-2. He was a starter in 15 and 16. 0-2 here on Yadier Molina. And a grounder tap foul. Molina is 1 for 3. Scored a run. Singled on a 2-strike pitch back in the second. Grounded to third. Line to third. And the 0-2 pitch. And Molina sends it into right, but there's John Jay. Archie Bradley, a 1-2-3, top of the 8th with a pair of strikeouts. by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. 4-2 our score as we move to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals about hit the Diamondbacks 7-4. Second inning of work for Sam Tuivailala. It's John Jay, Paul Goldschmidt, and Jake Lamb. Jay was hit by a pitch back in the 5th, and that was a key spot in the game for Jack Flaherty. Then made it 1st and 3rd with Goldschmidt coming up in the 5th with 2 strikes on him. Flaherty eventually evened it up, and then the home run. That's the difference in the game. Cardinals at that point had a 2-1 lead and now trail 4-2. A 3-run homer by Goldschmidt.
Ball almost got him in the front toe. He doesn't move. He just stand right there and let it bounce off any part of his body.
And the 1-1. 1-2 the count. John Jay still with close ties to the folks in St. Louis. Married a young lady from the Gateway City. And the 1-2 hit the other way. Ozuna backing up to make the catch. So that's 4 batters, and 4 have gone down against Sam Tuivailala. Diamondbacks trying to snap their losing skid. They had a tremendous month of June, 19 wins in the month of June. And a good fastball. Statcast brought to you by AWS. The home run hit by Goldschmidt. A little too much of the plate, huh?
Just enough. I mean, he's such a good hitter. Goldschmidt. He's like, "Who I got away with that one?"
Wow.
Pretty much right down the middle as far as breaking ball goes. Pretty good pitch.
Here's a 1-1. What changes the complexion of the at bat with a guy like Goldschmidt, any major leaguer, but especially this kind of guy?
I mean, they all do, to be honest with you. Every strike that you get one way or the other changes the at bat in such a way. It gives you so many more options as a pitcher and really takes a lot away from you as a hitter. Pretty much the same pitch right there.
Wow. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, fouled back. And the 2-2 pitch again. Goldschmidt drives it into right center for a base hit. 2 for 4 on the night after striking out in his first 2 plate appearances.
Same thing. Another good job of hitting right there. I feel like they challenged him in early. He got him out twice with the strikeout. Threw some fastballs in and haven't thrown him much inside since. And kind of gotten a little bit more comfortable and gone away, and then he just stayed out over the plate with his body and bat and ended up getting 2 hits after that.
Coming on, Austin Gomber for St. Louis. two of the next three hitters from the left side. So the Cardinals going with Austin Gomber. You know, the splits have not been great. You see there kind of reverse splits. Lefties 364, the righties 091. And I was talking to Mike Matheny about this, and he said, I get it, the splits are glaring, but the curveball plays. He just needs time, but we think he has an exceptional curveball to where that will really be effective against the left-handed batters.
Yeah, that's surprising too. He's right there. You see the velocity, upper 90s, mid to upper 90s with the curveball. For him to be, for lefties to be hitting 300 plus against them is shocking to me.
Now the Cardinals, according to Mike, do envision him at some point, whether it's if he's stretched out again end of this year, next year, beyond, but they do think he's got the starter mentality and quality of stuff to be in a rotation. Always good to have a lefty in there too. Seen a little jump in his velocity going from the rotation to the bullpen. And the 2-0 hit the other way. Ozuna back, looks up, and we'll have a replay on this. That was over the wall and touched by a fan. Now it's being ruled a home run here, but the Cardinals will take a look at it with replay. I mean, the fan looked to be way over the wall and try to take that back in. And so Mike Matheny certainly will get the umpire's attention. The home plate umpire is the crew chief, Bill Welke, and the umpires can go and decide this on their own, which they will. They're going to bring that back. It'll be a double and a runner at third in this situation. This would be an umpire review. The Cardinals do not need to use a challenge in this spot. Umpire review.
The call on the field is that the batted ball left the field of play for a home run.
I don't think this is too hard to figure out.
Well, it's really interesting is for the first time that I've seen all year, the umpires are actually looking at the replay in the stadium, and one of them tapped the other one and said, check this out.
Now, Torey Lovello, one of the things that he could be saying is potentially, you know, I don't think it would go his way, but the runner at first, what happens there? That's not going to be a home run. Touched by a fan. Boom, boom. Runners at second and third. Cardinals catch a break. You would have to think Goldschmidt scores on that play. If it hits off the wall, you don't know where it's going to go.
For sure. I mean, that ball's going to take a wicked hop off that wall and bounce back all over the place. That ball might even bounce back past Ozuna.
Exactly.
He's so close to the wall there.
Runners at second and third. The batter is A.J. Pollock. Now that's a tough night. You don't get the souvenir. You don't make the catch, and bye-bye.
That's a tough deal right there. It's hard not to reach out and try to catch that ball if it's coming that close.
I mean, if I'm going to get kicked out, at least I want the ball. I got to make the catch.
Maybe you can ask for it back.
Cardinals talking about the situation here. This will be now Mike Maddox holding the crew out onto the mound, and a visit here with Maddox. Could be stalling in this spot as John Brebbia has been throwing and trying to get loose quickly.
not really hard to figure out the splits with Gamba right there. You see the biggest thing between the minor leagues and the big leagues is you cannot get behind to anyone. It doesn't matter how good or how great stuff you have, how well you throw. Like, you get behind 2-0, you got to throw a fastball down the middle. You're going to see that they're going to do some damage.
So intentional walk to Pollock, and the last time that Gomber pitched with the bases loaded was on Friday night against the Braves, and it was one pitch and he hit the helmet of the batter to bring in a run. That made it the first run of the game. It's hard to think that maybe that's not in the back of his mind, this spot here, and you get a tough customer in David Peralta. And the first pitch hit out of play. The switch hitting Ketel Marte is on deck. Marte, by the way, a 217 hitter as opposed to a 298. 217 left, 298 right. So this may be Gomber's last batter in this spot. Inside, and a ball and a strike. The Dodgers with 9 extra base hits in back-to-back games for the first time since 1929. Did that tonight against the Pirates. It's 6 home runs tonight and 5 off Ivan Nova. It's the first time a Pirates pitcher in their long history has ever given up 5 home runs in a game. It's a tough night.
It's for good reason, I think, the 5 home runs.
Wow.
Have never been given up before.
Big pitch here. 2-1 the count on David Peralta. 3-1. Three-one pitch. Double play ball. 6-4-3. Gomber, nice work. Gets the double play. Little pick me up for Austin Gomber and the Cardinals. The double play and his reaction. is into the ball game. A crowd of 25,840 tonight. 25840. It's our Chevy call to the pen. 32 games. He's had 5 days of rest, so keep that in mind. 5 for a closer.
That's a long.
That is a long time.
He might not get 5 days of rest in the entire year.
He's 19 for 23 in save chances. Opponents hitting .207 against him this year. Jed Jerko, Jairo Munoz, and Colton Wong. Last outing 5 days ago gave up a home run. And the first pitch is strike. Jerko doubled inside the third base line back in the second. He walked and also flied to center. Here's the 0-1. 0-2.
Pretty good changeup right there.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Zach Greinke 6 2/3. De La Rosa came in with 2 on and 2 outs in the 7th. Did not record an out. Walked a man. Arano with the bases loaded faced Tommy Pham. 1 pitch, got a ground out, and Bradley a scoreless 8th. And now Boxberger. 1-2. Pulled foul. And Jerko hits it down the right field line. Slicing, foul territory. And a foul ball. Good effort again by John Jay. No surprise there.
Hustling all the way down to the wall. All the way to the end. You see Jerko watching that as he was walking down the line too, knowing that John Jay was not going to give up.
Here's a 1-2. Jerko pulls it foul. Cardinals need a base runner any which way. Down by 2 here in the top of the 9th. 8th pitch of the at bat here for Jed Jerko coming up. And it is a liner and caught at second base. Marte takes a hit away from Jed Jerko.
Really can't have a better at bat than this with Jed Jerko. The fastball the other way, pulled the change up foul, hit a line drive, and get nothing to show for it.
There's Jairo Munoz. RBI single to left field back in the 2nd inning. Struck out swinging the next 2 plate appearances, and 1 for 3 on the night. Really trying to go down and in with Munoz just like that.
See that changeup? He's got a really good changeup. Something you don't see right-handed to right-handed all the time. Unusual pitch, especially being down and in.
1 ball, 1 strike. In and out on the last 2 pitches. And the 1-2. Strikeout of Munoz. Budweiser plays of the game. Zach Greinke, the starter for Arizona, 6 2/3. 2 runs on 7 hits, struck out 4 and walked 1. Golden Wong has had some good at-bats tonight.
Yeah, he has. Hit the ball hard pretty much 3 times.
Tyler O'Neill at the on-deck circle. 2 balls and no strikes. Diamondbacks trying to even up the series with a win here in game 2. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Some kind of zone today he's had. Could be frustrating as a hitter.
Cardinals down to their final strike. Just missed. Could have gone either way. Three balls, 2 strikes on Wong. And the tying run comes to the plate with some intrigue in the power of Tyler O'Neill. This could be fun.
Pitch hitting, number 41.
I'd have to say that all 4 at bats tonight by Wong
Have been good.
Yeah, going in the right direction.
It's gotten a lot quieter at the plate. Hands are high. Really like what he's trying to do. I like to see Tyler hit one in the seats.
The first pitch to him. A little bit low. O'Neill called up for Dexter Fowler on the paternity list. Was in the starting lineup in the 3 spot last night in the lineup and went 1 for 4. One ball, 1 strike. It's like he's swinging a toothpick. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. And again, the Cardinals down to their final strike. O'Neill just got a piece. It's another 2-2 pitch. And now time called by the catcher, Mathis. The 2-2. Hit out of play.
You can see all the right-handed hitters are having a tough time in between the fastball and the changeup. You said you don't normally see that out of a right-handed pitcher. So the fastball's away, the changeup breaks down and at your feet.
The 2-2. Fouled back in a good cut. Well, that's one he'd love to have back. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up right here. The next to O'Neill. Got him. Strikeout of Tyler O'Neill, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well-pitched ball game on both sides, and they take game 2 by the final of 4-2. Game 3 tomorrow for the Cardinals. Michaelis on the mound. Goldschmidt the hero in game 2. Missouri Lottery Cardinals live coming up. 4-2 our final.